Okay, for station number 1, we will be solving for complex unit rates using a hands-on and visual method of fraction tiles. Okay, so I'm going to guide you through this step by step. There will be various points in the video where you should pause and do it yourself with your problem. So please follow along and let me know at the end after you've watched the entire video if you have any questions. So, step 1, you will see a series of problems at your station. So each person should choose a different problem with a different little animal, and you are going to paste your problem here and then go ahead and read it. So I pasted my problem down. Now I'm going to read it. It says a monkey can swing 2/3 miles of trees in 1/2 of an hour. How far could the monkey swing in 2 full hours? Okay, so step 2 is to use the fraction tiles to create a representation of the rate that is given in the problem. Be sure to label the fraction tiles with the correct units and paste your representation here. So, as you can see in my problem, I'm going to underline a few things so you can see. It says that a monkey can swing 2/3 miles in 1/2 of an hour. So how I've shown that is I've taken 2/3 pieces and labeled that as miles. I would pick a color, 2 different colors, one color for your first part of your unit and one color for your second. So 2/3 miles in 1/2 of an hour. Okay, so you will paste those down and label them. Take a moment to pause and do this portion now. All right, step 2 is going to be to use the fraction tiles to create a representation of the solution to the task. Be sure to label the fraction tiles with the correct units and paste your representation here. So, my original question wanted me to figure out how many miles in 2 full hours. Okay, so using that information, I created a representation that would have 2 full hours, right? So 2 halves is 1 hour, and then another 2 halves is 2 hours. Now that's 2 full hours. For each 1/2 hour, I know the monkey swung 2/3 of a mile. So for every half-hour piece I put down, I put 2/3 miles pieces down. Okay, so since I have 4 of those, I ended up with 2/3, 4/3, 6/3, 8/3. So I ended up with 8/3 of a mile. Okay, and the equivalent to that, if I were to simplify, would be 2 2/3 miles, right? Because 3 goes into 8 2 whole times, and then I would have 2 left over out of thirds. Okay, so everybody take a moment to build and label your solution. If you would like me to check it before you paste it down, that would be an excellent idea. But everybody at this time, you are going to pause. Okay. Now, once you've done that, flip to the back. All right, on the back, you are going to write the original ratio here. So that's the ratio from the problem. So for mine, it was 2/3 miles in 1/2 hour. Then you will write the solution ratio here, 8/3 of a mile in 2 hours. And because we're working with fractions, I put my whole number over 1 just to put it in the form of a fraction. So everybody take a moment and write your original ratio and your solution ratio here. So pause. Okay. Now, lastly, it says using a colorful pen, write or draw how you think the two ratios are related to one another. How are the original ratios related to the solution, and what might you do to the original ratios to get the solution? Okay, and so these are notes that you could take. Read through these. Go ahead and copy these down because this is the process that you're going to use.